Namaste.
Namaste.
Welcome to my little puja answering questions.
Thank you.
So how I can help you?
So my question is around transitions. So we just recently finished a retreat, a shamanic retreat, and now I find myself in a position where I'm faced with making some big changes in my life and some expansion. So I'm moving and I'm also looking to expand my work. So in light of the retreat where we were talking about control, I have observed some control loop coming up, and I'm just seeing that in response to transition. So maybe you could give some insight into transitions and seeing our control loops as we go through that process.
Well, we are always in transit from the bigger scale to the smaller scale. Like from the bigger scale, we are always in transit of the body, right? We're just here for a period of time, and in that period of time, when we embody fully and complete our task here, our experiences, then we transit to a different body, either in a higher frequency, or if we need to finish something, we reconstruct our body and enter again into a different body, but the same place, the same location, the same clan on earth. So from that point of view, we are always in transit of the body. The emotions always are in transit. Right? We cannot hold for a long period of emotions. If it's anger or sadness or a certain limit on that, it will pass. Mm-hmm. I come back to emotions, some emotions that do not pass and that are very much in relationship to our soul. But the mind also transit our thoughts and our likes and our preferences and who we like and who doesn't like. And in the mind, in order to transit, you need self-responsibility. Mm-hmm. For the emotions, in order to transit, you need the concentration and awareness that those emotions are produced by your belief systems. Mm-hmm. Right? That you don't give the extra value that doesn't have to. But in here is something curious, and is the relationship between the soul and the emotions. That in a way is the same thing, because the emotions reflect the feedback of the soul. It's the one that it feels by knowing the direction that the soul wants to go, rather than in the mind. That's why it's so important to release from the lower chakras that control, that self-control or imposition of wanting you to direct your life. Mm-hmm. and the prana. Mm-hmm. So in the emotional body, when the soul is ready to move to a different frequency, you start receiving in the body signals. The signal of changing location, for example. The signal of feeling uncomfortable where you are, or feeling that it's too small, mm-hmm. or doesn't fit you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or just simply the knowing that I complete the exercise here very quickly, yeah. and I need to move to the next step. Mm-hmm. So with that acknowledgement, you have a more connection to your soul. Mm-hmm. And your soul journey. of where it wants you to go.
Because you're honoring those messages that you're receiving?
You're honoring the emotions.
You're honoring the emotions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if the emotion is not based in fear,
Mm-hmm.
but in the pure equanimity of receiving the knowing, but with certain emotion, with certain enthusiasm,
Mm-hmm.
with certain completeness,
Mm-hmm.
then the belief systems doesn't have the same grasp in your transitions.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's that link between your emotions and your soul. And I tell you the steps.
Mm-hmm.
The soul, as you know, is loaded with information. It knows everything where you have been in this planet, outside this planet, between planets, between lives. It's loaded with all what you know. And that gets activated through self-responsibility. All you know, all your data is insisting in going towards matter, towards the body, towards the emotions, towards the mind, and towards your relations. So you start receiving, like if you can get the image of, you start receiving data from the soul, resources that need to be organized in order for the soul to know themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because the resources in dormancy, the soul will not know what is the strength. What is its strength?
Mm-hmm.
So it only knows its strength when it's action in the earth bodies. You create the earth body action, which is clear from any fear or the pure action. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I just recently spoke about the pure action.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's clear of expectation, clear of, oh, I do this because I can get that, or if I do that, then I will gain something for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just pure action. Then the soul receives the feedback and it sends you the next step.
Mm-hmm.
It sends you the next data, the next information. And some actions can be irrelevant or not in your plan, like, oh, out of curiosity I am visiting this place.
Mm-hmm.
Or out of curiosity I have to spend 3 days by not insisting on where I'm moving or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All that is completely something in you.
Mm-hmm.
So the transitions are really in the background as you do your actions clean.
Mm-hmm.
Then in the proper moment, what the completion of that data will manifest. You will get the right apartment or the right thing that you are looking for.
It's interesting hearing you say that, because when I had this offer to go to the cottage, it came up very suddenly to go away for 3 days. And, I said yes, I accepted. And then I thought, oh, maybe I should stay home and look for the apartment. I said, no, this has come up. I'm following it. We're going to go on this little vacation for 3 days. And then there's this knowing that September, an apartment will come for you. Something's going to come in September. So just take this 3 days away and enjoy.
Yeah, and that's part of the mistake of transitions, or when you have something unknown in front, is that you always want to be in front of the fire. I need to work, I need to think about it, I need to organize and so on. But we don't understand that the soul when they send the message to the body need a period of rest to integrate that. Mm-hmm. And if you think, where is the soul? Because that's the other thing. We think it's, up there and they come. But the actual information, the actual data is in your cells. Mm-hmm. It's in the body.
All of the cells?
all the cells have memory. All of them. Very specialized. So your soul is not only within you, but in tremendous transformation at all times. Some they come forward, some they come in the back. So if you can imagine that activity of protons and neutrons going on all the time with information, with certain frequency, you need time to assimilate that, to let it rest, either sleeping or doing a different activity. Right? Sometimes when I want to have a rest on certain project, I go and paint, or I go in the garden, or I cook. So that go to a different part of the brain. And when it goes to a different part of the brain, you're activating different memory, different information, making it more fluid where you need to go. So all transitions are about changing frequencies. All valid transitions. It's not, you can be changing location, let's say, and not changing frequency. So you will manifest the same kind of atmosphere and scenes, but with different people. But once you say, oh, in the retreat something shift, something, the frequency is different. So it accelerates and you're responding to that. And your soul pre-knew it that. So it produced actions that was obliging you to move out of where you are. Right? So that's why we need to follow the soul, because it knows ahead something that we don't know. We're busy here trying to integrate and eat and pay the bills and all that, right? But the guidance of the soul wishes, the soul development of how it wants the body to go is in a way predetermined by your first intention of why you're here. So your series of transitions are very timely. They are the cycles, the natural cycles of the mind and the body and the intelligence that we know about. But it's also the cycles of you in the time frame, where every year you are upgrading in your karma month your transitions for the next frequency. That is the grace. The grace is every year you have your gift to have a transition. And when it's lucid, you are ahead of the game. Because you know what to expect, you know how to support the body, you know what is important and what is not. So that relationship with your soul, you calm down in transitions. When you are separate from your soul, then you just want control, because you're insecure. You don't know where you're going. You're just trying this or this or that. But it's through the emotional body. The emotional body is the one that vibrates the soul, and it brings it into each of the cells of the body, giving you the impulse, the feeling. Especially in women, we're more in tune with that, and we have no reason. We just know that it needs to be done. Right?
Well, it's interesting because today I left the cottage, or was preparing to leave the cottage with my son, and I just went and sat outside, and I was looking over the water, and I just paused, and I just started crying, just tears, and I felt like this great sense of gratitude for being there. But it was much bigger. It was this sense of, like, I felt so embraced by the earth, so embraced. And it was just this sense of like, like everything inside of me knew how embraced I was to walk this transition.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes we think the embrace is like that, but the embrace is when you have embodied more yourselves.
Mm.
So the frequency, the substance, the soul is more in the body.
Mm.
The body is the earth.
Mm.
The earth is not outside of you. It's not nature.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the sense of embracement comes from the self's reassurance
Mm.
that is in connection with the soul.
Mm.
So it's again a sign of being more you, more in the body. The soul have more territory, and that is so cozy and reassurance. You don't need to figure it out anything.
Yes.
Because always transitions like, oh my God, how I should prepare.
And that's like the old way, right?
Yeah.
Like after the retreat, I found myself scrolling through Facebook Marketplace looking for a place and feeling like this obsession and like the control. And I just was like, whoa, no. It was perfect, took this break, like you said, I took a break of 3 days, did something completely out of that loop, stepped out, and then here I am.
Yeah. So it is helpful.
It's very helpful. It definitely gives me a bigger picture and clearer insight. Thank you.
You're welcome.